Okay, for the next problem we're going to do chain rule. Now, chain rule is for when you have a function within a function. So a function within a function would be something like 4x squared minus 3 raised to the fifth. Now, the tricky bit about chain rule is identifying which function is on the inside and which function is on the outside. Now, the formula from the textbook is the derivative of f of g of x, where f is the outer function and g is the inner function, is f prime of g of x, so the g remains unchanged, times g prime of x. Now, the way I like to do this is a little bit different than most textbooks. What I like to do is I like to create a variable u for g of x. Okay, u equals g of x. And I like to create a y for the whole function. So just try this out. I'm going to say y equals u to the fifth. Now, why does y equal u to the fifth? Well, if y is the whole thing and u is the inside, then u to the fifth is the function. So now I need to define u. So u equals 4x squared minus 3. Now, if you followed the way I did product and quotient rule, this should seem familiar. I've set up two different pieces, and I'm going to take the derivative of both. And my notation is going to be more with dy's and dx's than with anything else. But you'll see how the notation helps us cancel out. All right? So dy du is equal to 5u to the fourth. All right? dy du, not dy dx. All right? We're going to find what dy dx is, but we need dy du. All right? And then du dx is equal to, bring the 2 down, 8x. And the derivative of 3, which is a constant, is 0. Now, here's where, if we're trying to find dy dx, look at dy du multiplied by du dx. The du's will cancel. Okay? So that will give us dy dx. So dy du times du dx equals 5u to the fourth times 8x. Now, I need an answer in terms of x's, so I need to get rid of this u. Well, I've already created an equation for u. So my answer is going to be dy dx equals 5 times 8, which is 40, then the x, then the u, 4x squared minus 3 to the fourth. Now let's look back at the formula and see whether or not this holds any water. F prime, well, that's the derivative of the outside. The derivative of the outside is 5u to the fourth, applied to the inside untouched. Well, notice that the inside, 4x squared minus 3, is the same as when we started. That's your g of x. Look at g of x here and g of x here. Then we need a g prime on the outside. That's the derivative of the inside. So the derivative of the inside would be the derivative of 4x squared minus 3. Well, 4x squared minus 3, the derivative of that is our 8x. When multiplied by 5, it gives us 40x. So this is a way for you to compartmentalize chain rule and to kind of help you separate what the inside function and the outside function is. And the next video we're going to do is about trig and the chain rule.